Okay, 3.4 video, part 2. We're going to do one more problem where we graph the polynomial function. Okay, so write these instructions down. Graph the polynomial function. Now, we ultimately want to graph this, so just all you got to do is really write that down. So write the 2x to the third minus 3x squared minus 11x plus 6. Now, let me ask you this question. What makes this one different than the one we did right at the end of the video last time? What's the difference in this one and that one? If you'll look back, the other one that I gave you the linear factors written out. This one is where it's all multiplied out. So can you look at this one and get the zeros? No, you can't. So what are we going to have to do here? We need to get the factors, the 3 factors to this problem, so that we can get the 3 zeros. But you can't get the 3 factors and you can't get the 3 zeros until you make your list of the set of possible rational zeros. So what I've got to do is I've got to make that list of set of possible rational zeros, which is at plus or minus C over L, where you make the list. Then I'm going to have to try the numbers in the list till I find one that works. And then once I find one that works, I can take the answer and find the other 2 linear factors. And then after I find the linear factors, then I can get the zeros and make that big XY chart like we did in the last problem. All right, so what are we going to have to do then in this problem? We're really going to have to do this in stages. We're going to have to list the set first. Then we're going to have to find the 3 zeros and find the 3 factors, or vice versa. Remember I told you could do that in any order. Then we will sketch the graph. Okay, so here we go. And you pause the video as you need to. So we've got plus or minus C over L, which is plus or minus, okay, C. C is all of the factors of the constant. So all the factors of 6 is 1, 2, 3, and 6. L is all the factors of the leading coefficient, which is 2. All the numbers that divide into 2 are 1 and 2. And by the way, this is a 3rd degree polynomial, so I know that the arms go in opposite directions. It's a positive odd degree. That means the left arm's going to be down and the right arm's going to be up. But I still don't know what the zeros are. That's why I have to go through this. All right, remember, take your pencil and circle this. Then it's going to be plus or minus 1 over 1, 2 over 1, 3 over 1, 6 over 1. And then you mark this out. Okay, and then you got 1 over 2, which is a half. 2 over 2, which is 1, so you don't have to put it. 3 over 2 is 3 halves. And then 6 over 2 is 3, so you don't have to write that. So you got plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 6, plus or minus a half, plus or minus 3 over 2. So that's your suspects, if you will. All right. Now, I'm not going to bore you with making you write this down if you don't want to, but let me just show you. So what I did was, I'm going to start and try 1 and check the remainder. Well, when I tried 1, when I went through, I did not get a remainder of 0. So that means 1 doesn't work. After that, I tried -1. And again, you don't have to write these down because they're not going to work. But make sure you understand that I am trying them. So -1 didn't work. 2 did not work. But then when I got to -2, it did. So when I tried -2 right here, I got a remainder of 0. So that means that -2 is one of the zeros. That means x plus 2 is one of the factors. Now, so -2 is a 0. X plus 2 is a factor. Now what we need to do is we need to find the other 2 factors and the other 2 zeros. And again, pause the video as you need to. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. Going to take that. I'm going to take that, and we're going to factor it. This is the hard case, the Brew method. So you've seen that a bunch in this chapter. So that's your other 2 factors. Now, what was the first one? X plus 2 was one of the factors. So now you have x plus 2 is one of the factors, x minus 3 is one of the factors, and 2x minus 1 is one of the factors. It is now in factored form. So now this problem looks exactly like the one we did just a while ago. All right, it's a 3rd degree. It's positive. So the left arm's going to be down, the right arm's going to be up. All right, what are the zeros? The zeros are, if you set this equal to 0, it's -2. If you set this equal to 0, it's positive 3. And if you set this equal to 0, it's 1 over 2. Those are your 3 zeros. All right, what did I tell you to do to those 3 zeros? Put them on a number line where they go. All right, so I did a number line. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1, -2, -3, -4. All right, -2 is right here. Positive 3 is right here. And then 1/2 is halfway between 0 and 1. So there's the 3 zeros from left to right. Now what did I tell you to do in your XY chart? I said start one more over to the left. So we're going to start right here at -3, and we're going to go all the way across to 4. So in my XY chart, I'm going to have -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the numbers that I'm going to have. So here they are. So -3 starting here, -2, we know what that's going to be, 0. -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, how do you find the y that goes with each one of these? Go to your polynomial. I like to use the factored form part of the polynomial. Now, I'm going to let x be -3 right here. All right, when I do that, over here, when I let x be -3 right here, -3 plus 2 is -1. Negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. And then 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 minus 1, which is negative 7. You are multiplying these three numbers. Negative 6 times negative 1 is 6. 6 times negative 7 is negative 42. That's where this number right here comes from. Now, I don't have to plug in negative 2 because it's a 0. Now, it's okay if you do plug it in. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0, and 0 times anything is 0. So, that, there's no need in plugging in. Now plug in negative 1. I'll do one more and then I'll let you copy the rest. Let x be negative 1. Negative 1 plus 2 is 1. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. And then 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 minus 1, which is negative 3. If you multiply these out, 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 3 is a plus 12. So that number there will be plus 12. And then just continue right on. Okay, so pause the video and copy these numbers. All right, then what I did from here was I'm going to sketch this graph. But because these numbers get big again, what I did was on my scale, I counted my y scale by 5s. 5, 10, 15, negative 5, negative 10, negative 15. So you take these points and plot them on this graph. So this is negative 3, negative 42 or whatever. This is negative 2, 0, negative 1, whatever we found, 0, 6. The only point that I'm showing here that was not in that XY chart is that one right there, the 1/2, because that was also a 0. So I'll put that one in there. But all of these comes from that chart that you just did, with the exception of that one. And that's the sketch of that graph. Okay, so this concludes section 3.3, and it completely concludes the topic on polynomials. So we will begin next video, section 4.2. Section 4.2 next with exponential functions.